The demand is huge. They're number one. The question is anybody catching up? Tesla, because of their low-cost battery production, is moving into the utility sector. They've already filed for licenses in the Europe, US, and China to be a global utility. So you may find that 5 years from now, Tesla's not only a car and truck company, it's one of the largest energy companies as well. Love or hate Elon Musk, the guy's got a big vision. Personally, I think the Cybertruck looks a little crazy, but they've got 2 million pre-orders. And if they sell even a fraction of those, say half, they're going to eat in heavily to Ford's market.
The very largest holding of Interactive Brokers customers is Tesla. And they have such huge gains in that stock that they do not want to sell it. They are committed to Tesla on the very, very long term. They talk about owning this stock for the next 10 years because they say that Elon Musk is able to get the brightest young engineers, and they are going in. They don't just look at it as a car stock. They think that they are going to develop all kinds of other technologies, such as robots and other things.
This is the biggest smackdown in the North American vehicle industry right now.
In this video, Tesla stock moons more than 10% today, almost $100 per share. Shout out to everybody who bought the dip. Tesla stock is revealed as the most popular. Tesla's so-called competition, GM's incompetence, demand for EVs, and Cybertruck. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support.
And Thomas, you've been doing this for a long time, but we have seen some pretty unusual trading activity, I'd say over the last 2 years, really. A market that brought in a lot of new retail traders. How are they doing with the downturn that we've seen for the month of January?
Well, the month of January was not the best time for our customers. Basically, they are down 10% for the month. But you see that the very largest holding of Interactive Brokers customers is Tesla.
This is a fascinating piece of information. Tesla stock, the #1 stock held among users of Interactive Brokers. That's really saying something. It's not all the way there yet, but Tesla stock is fast transitioning to a mainstream obvious, why wouldn't you own Tesla stock type of investment, aka something like Apple stock just a couple of years ago. We're not that far away from Tesla stock being an obvious conventional wisdom style inclusion in a stock portfolio. I've got a funny feeling sometime between now and then the stock price might be a little bit higher given the number of people who are a little bit slow off the blocks and finally here, I should buy Tesla stock, shouldn't I?
And they have such huge gains in that stock that they do not want to sell it. They are committed to Tesla on the very, very long term. They talk about owning this stock for the next 10 years.
I love to hear this. Long-term investing. Smart decision, in my opinion, by these Tesla investors. I mean, obviously, if you haven't seen my Tesla price targets, here's a hint. Long way to go, in my opinion. If you do want to see my price targets, Patreon, card in corner, link in the pinned comment. My Tesla price targets are available at all support levels. They go out all the way to 2031 and include a bear case, a base case, and a bull case. Let me know in the comments below, how many years are you intending on holding Tesla stock for at minimum? Let me know in the comments below.
Because they say that Elon Musk is able to get the brightest young engineers, and they are going in. They don't just look at it as a car stock. They think that they are going to develop all kinds of other technologies, such as robots and other things.
How about that? Even aware of the Tesla bot discussion. Got to give some credit where it's due. He really knows his customers. It's going to be a long fucking time before we start hearing anything serious about Tesla bot from the Wall Street analysts. You can count on that. Unless Adam Jonas drops acid on the weekend and decides to publish a new research note. It's always a possibility.
The numbers reported were extraordinary. The deliveries, what's expected next year. But the stock, as I pointed out, has lost about 21% of its value so far this year. Does that make sense to you?
Well, look, I think the whole market has been a bit overvalued. But if you look at Tesla, you have to see three things. First, blockbuster quarter. They grew revenues from $32 billion in 2020 to $53.8 billion in 2021. That's 58% growth. Nobody else in the global auto industry is doing anything close, and with a $5.5 billion profit. That's looking pretty good. Second part of the equation is how are they doing relative to competition? They produced 930,000 vehicles in 2021, more than anybody thought, 2x over their closest competitor, Volkswagen, 453,000. Just by comparison, Ford and GM produced only 27 and 25,000 vehicles respectively. So to me, rapid growth, profitability, outpacing competition, hard to ask for a lot more than that.
Yeah, that does put it in perspective in terms of the actual manufacturing numbers. But that said, when somebody goes to make a decision this year to buy a new EV vehicle and or next year, there are going to be more choices available to them. And that does seem to at least be some concern for investors who otherwise perhaps might own the stock.
Just a couple of things there. First of all, we heard Tesla absolutely blowing it away Q4. Everybody knew this. We also heard some discussion about Tesla's so-called competition. Some numbers there. Tesla's selling about 40 times, not 40%, 40 times as many electric vehicles as GM sold, and about 40 times as many electric vehicles as Ford sold in 2021. Seriously, let that sink in. 40 times. Imagine if your girlfriend weighed 40 times as much as she currently does, or she banged 40 times as many dudes. Of course, you don't judge. Being fat is healthy and beautiful, according to the magazines I heard. So fat is beautiful, and there's nothing wrong if your girlfriend's been drilled by the entire football, hockey, basketball, and men's volleyball team all in the same night. No problem there either. The point that I was making, Tesla is operating at a whole other level. And as for the so-called competition, I just can't buy this argument from anybody. It's just not credible. Yes, there'll be electric vehicles that consumers can and will buy rather than buying a Tesla. But these consumers have unique preferences in terms of what they're buying that don't include the best value, the best performance, the safest. You know, they don't want the best, especially not when they factor in the purchase price and realize that there's no better value, nothing even close. They want something other than the best, like a particular aesthetic, or to be associated with owning a particular brand, or because the television told them that this was better and they're very smart and so they believe what they heard on the television and now they're buying the inferior product. Tesla's going to continue to smoke the so-called competition indefinitely. Tesla is multiple generations ahead of these clowns. Tesla's costs are that much lower. The features, functionality, performance of their vehicles are that much better. By the time a company like Volkswagen, Ford, General Motors can catch up to where Tesla is today, for example, with the Model Y, Tesla's going to be selling 10, 15, 20 plus million electric vehicles, and these companies will be lucky to still be in business. Let me be clear, this isn't hyperbole. I'm serious. I've thought about this in great detail. Tesla is years, 3, 4, 5, 7 plus years ahead of everybody else attempting to make electric vehicles at scale, depending on what you're looking at, whether it's thermal management, whether it's body design, whether it's the manufacturing processes. I am serious. Tesla is 3, 4, 5, 7 plus years ahead on everything that matters in terms of producing a compelling electric vehicle. It's going to take these companies that same amount of time, assuming that they can innovate relatively quickly, just to get up to where Tesla is today. These companies today are building vehicles that are 5, 7 plus years behind where Tesla's at. It's going to take them that long to catch up to where Tesla is today, and Tesla's not standing still. In fact, they're moving faster than any other company on the planet.
Look, there is a ton of competition. Every automaker in the world is going electric, so get used to that. And by the way, the cost of electric vehicles will go down commensurate with the dropping cost of lithium-ion batteries. So yes, Tesla's going to get more competition, but just know the whole marketplace is going electric. That's what consumers want. By the way, Tesla, a 10-month waiting line for their Model Ys alone. So the demand is huge. They're number one. The question is anybody catching up? General Motors, a lot of talk about Mary Barra's $7 billion commitment to building new factories, but they should have started that 5 years ago.
Special shout out to Mary B.S. Barra for stealing Tesla's valor and claiming in conjunction, in fact in collusion with the corrupt president of the United States, that General Motors have led the electric vehicle revolution. They're responsible for pushing the industry in this direction and they deserve all the credit because they led. And it matters. I have a funny feeling if any of you were to meet Mary B.S. Barra in person, her breath may carry the scent of two distinct flavours of eggplant, UAW and the POTUS. I don't know for sure. The only thing I can say for sure about Mary B.S. Barra is she's not fit to be leading General Motors.
The real competition, I think, is Volkswagen, global brand, deep pockets, manufacturing facilities in Europe and the United States, and they've taken battery production somewhat in-house in the partnership with Northvolt. We also need to look at the Chinese, and most Americans will say Chinese car makers, but they're coming, and you'll see new brand names competing on the market like XPeng, NIO, and SAIC. China is the biggest auto market in the world, and they have the advantage that the government subsidizes their vehicles. So get ready, new waves of competitors are coming, but for now, Tesla's still king of the hill.
This is a fair point. The US can definitely expect an invasion, a tsunami of Chinese-made electric vehicles. This is nothing for Tesla to be concerned about. However, if I were Ford, General Motors, or any other domestic producer of internal combustion engine vehicles in the United States currently attempting to transition to EV production, I would be shitting my fucking pants. These vehicles coming out of China will be well made, they'll be great value, exceptionally well priced. They're not going to be competing with Tesla in terms of the same features, functionality, and performance. Not quite there. But if you're a US-based company, you're making shitty EVs that can't compete with Tesla, and your only strategy is, well, let's just make them even cheaper and have small margins and offer half the features because not everyone can afford a Tesla, you're in big trouble because these Chinese automakers will be eating your lunch.
A lot's been made of the Cybertruck and the fact that production for that is going to move until 2023 now at the earliest. And we know Americans like their pickup trucks. How big is the opportunity actually for this specific model from Tesla?
Well, it's huge. And full stop here, because a lot of people love Rivian, and you've got to give Ford credit. The Ford F-150, biggest selling vehicle, car or truck in the United States, 41 consecutive years. So in light trucks, Ford is the king of the hill. But now you've got Rivian coming on one side and the Tesla Cybertruck coming on the other. Personally, I think the Cybertruck looks a little crazy. But they've got 2 million pre-orders. And if they sell even a fraction of those, say half, they're going to eat in heavily to Ford's market. Rivian's coming too, deep support from Amazon and Ford. So this is the biggest smackdown in the North American vehicle industry right now. But I think Tesla is highly likely to walk away with at least a quarter of that market.
In the US, per year, more than 10 million pickup trucks are sold. That means if Tesla gets a 25% share of that market, as Steve Wesley is expecting, that's 2.5 million plus pickup truck sales in the US per year from Tesla.
And keep in mind, they have a 12-year record of making electric vehicles. They've done it before. They have the cost advantage in batteries. I wouldn't sell Tesla's Cybertruck short, even if it looks a little wacky to me.
Yeah, well, it looks a little wacky to a lot of people, although that may not stop people, as you say, from lining up to buy it.
I like it.
So, you know, you like it, Morgan? Yeah.
I do.
You know, Steve, we haven't even talked about the other avenues for obvious profitability in the future and how you measure them. We have this conversation from time to time, whether it's autonomous, whether it's taxi fleets, for example, that could occur at some point for this company. Do you try to sort of value what that will look like for this company, let's call it a few years out?
Absolutely. And here are the three things every auto investor should be looking at. One is not only what are the gross margins for the vehicles. Tesla posting 30% gross margins last year, highest in the auto industry, part of why they produced $5.5 billion in net profit. Second thing is, in the future, you'll judge auto companies not just on how many boxes they sell, how many cars they sell, but how much they're delivering in what's called OTA, or over-the-air software. There too, Tesla's been a leader doing that early. The third thing is, who's going to win the race to autonomous? Now, a lot of people are waiting for that big smackdown of who gets to the $25,000 EV first. And as Elon Musk pointed out just in the last week, who cares about that if the whole world is going autonomous? And Tesla and Waymo, the subsidiary of Google, seem to be pretty far out in that one.
I'm not going to lie, I don't think Steve Wesley has a great understanding of autonomous technology, the Waymo approach versus Tesla, at least in terms of scalability. It's not about who's first to have the first fully autonomous vehicle deployed somewhere on planet Earth. That's actually not that difficult to do. Put on $450,000 worth of sensors, pre-map the entire area, the geo-fenced little sandpit this car's allowed to operate in. Use your hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sensors to make sure you're exactly where you should be based on the pre-mapping you've already done of the area, and drive people around safely. That's not scalable. If you haven't created a generalized solution for autonomy that can drive wherever you put it, instead, you have to deploy your vehicles in a geo-fenced pre-mapped area. That just doesn't scale versus Tesla's model. Solve general autonomy deployed across the entire fleet and no need to worry about HD pre-mapping or expensive sensors to make sure you're in the right place on the predetermined map.
There's one other thing I just want to put out there almost nobody is talking about, and that is Tesla's energy division is now close to 15% of their sales. It's one of the fastest growth parts of Tesla. Tesla, because of their low-cost battery production, is moving into the utility sector. They've already filed for licenses in the Europe, US, and China to be a global utility. So you may find that 5 years from now, Tesla is not only a car and truck company, it's one of the largest energy companies as well. Love or hate Elon Musk, the guy's got a big vision.
I was kind of hoping Steve was about to mention the Tesla humanoid robot, but great point there with energy. People aren't really discussing this. For those of you who haven't done your homework, the energy opportunity is absolutely enormous. It's far bigger than transportation. We need to transition the world's energy generation, aka solar, wind, etc. Tesla makes solar panels, storage, aka Powerwall, Megapack, etc. Tesla makes batteries, and supply, aka Tesla's energy software, which hardly anybody knows about, but this is a whole branch of Tesla's business. So there's absolutely no question energy will become a much larger part of the Tesla story in the coming years throughout this decade and beyond, and it will bring significant value to the company and therefore the stock price. But while Steve is right that eventually energy is going to become part of the conversation with Tesla, the truth is that's yesterday's news, even though most people still haven't figured it out today. Tesla's humanoid robot is where it's at. Eventually, it might take a while. In fact, it might take years, maybe half a decade or more, maybe even a decade before people really start understanding this. But that's the story. Tesla's humanoid robot, the development in tandem of AGI, and a massive expansion of the global labor market. And speaking of the narrative changing around Tesla and people eventually figuring out that bots are massive, and when I say massive, I mean absolutely fucking colossal. The potential here for the Tesla humanoid robot dwarfs transport, dwarfs autonomy, and dwarfs energy. On that topic, we can see here today Tesla stock going to the fucking moon, up almost 11%, over $90 per share. Just for historical purposes, I just want to show you guys and girls what Tesla stock looks like today, Tesla's market cap today. I know this video is still going to be floating around in a decade, 20 plus years time, 30 plus years time. In fact, it's probably never going away. The internet never forgets. Tesla's market cap as I record this, a mere $940 billion. Despite the almost 11% gain in Tesla stock today, the stock's still down year to date over 20%, down over $250 per share this year. This despite Tesla's AI Day. This despite Elon Musk clearly signaling and flagging not only is he extremely confident that full self-driving will be solved this year, but confirming that Tesla is on the path to developing artificial general intelligence for deployment in their humanoid robot, whose purpose is to massively expand the entire global labor force, aka the global economy. So, dear viewer, enjoy it while it lasts. Tesla's market cap still under $1 trillion, Tesla stock also under $1,000 per share. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, bargain of the fucking century. I've been loading up with every spare cent, most recently buying for about $830 per share. Shout out to the macro environment creating this phenomenal sale. And I just want to emphasize that once the stock market investors generally start to understand what Tesla's doing with the bot, which they've already explained but people don't seem to believe, I've got a funny feeling that Tesla stock is going to be visiting every planet in this solar system before heading toward Alpha Centauri. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want to support the channel, check out the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment. You can sign up to Patreon, gain access to over 100 exclusive Q&A videos, loads of other content and perks, plus my up-to-date Tesla stock price targets throughout the next decade. So check the link in the pinned comment to join Patreon if you're not already supporting the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.